Welcome to the Zen AF Hustle Podcast. I'm your host, Julia Garcia Devaney. I'm a life and mindset coach for female founders, and my mission is to help thousands of ambitious, busy women become the number one asset in their life and business. Tune in as I share with you the behind the scenes of my own ambitious journey and help you bring the Zen back into your hustle so you can create the impact you desire and truly love your own ambitious journey as well. Welcome, and let's get into the episode. Hello, my ambitious babes. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe I am back. Well, sort of. I mean, I needed a long form medium to bring you all of this that I'm going to bring you. I am not able to get on IG Live or anything right now, so this is not my next best thing, but I feel like the best thing because my podcast is something that I really want to invest into once I am kind of back for good. I do believe that this has always been the medium that I've chosen to get kind of really deep and personal with all of you. I have wanted to do this in stories like all year long, but I have never been able to find my way to do that. I wanted to let you guys in on like everything that had been going on, except I felt like there was so much going on that every time I even like tried to, it felt like I was complaining and I just didn't like the vibes. So here we are, back to the basics of this podcast. So in today's podcast, I do want to give you like everything that has been going on. It's more of a personal update, and I do want to introduce something that I've been working on for all of you at the end. So let's just pick up kind of where I left off. I was in the middle of creating a podcast for you guys, and when I was postpartum, like freshly postpartum, and then like life really came at me. So like that I was recording like my, labor story because I know a lot of you guys like those kinds of stories. And of course, tying it in with business and stuff. But man, like life came at me. So starting from the beginning, my postpartum started out great. I was in 8 weeks of newborn bubble. Everything was going great, and until that bubble absolutely bursted. I did have some new challenges postpartum that were a lot different than the other two. I do have a birth story for all of you. If you'd like to hear that another time, obviously, like let me know. But I truly had no idea what was waiting for me after this newborn bubble burst. It kind of started out with like some, like a little bit of financial setbacks, let's say. Not in terms of our family or our lifestyle or anything, but more so of like anything extra that was going kind of towards my business just did not exist anymore. Like I was keeping afloat during my maternity leave and everything like that. But that was no longer, let's just put it that way. That like initial investment that I needed to launch my planner and everything like that was just essentially no more. The money like that I had just convinced myself that I absolutely deserved, I didn't have. This also meant I had to change some things in my business. I had to change my website platform to something a little bit more economical. So I was spending like my early mornings, like 5 a.m. before my babies woke up, pumping and essentially creating my website, which looking back on it was like not that hard. I was still doing okay with sleep and all that stuff. Like it was manageable. And then we decided to move. So I was doing all this with like this clock that I had to move soon. And so that meant like finishing up my website, wrapping all that up, and then essentially packing up our lives and then moving with, 2 toddlers basically, or 2 young girls and a newborn. And, I don't know if you remember, but I'm like 8 weeks postpartum. So that in itself was like legitimately an Olympic sport. Unfortunately, it's one that I recognized, like it wasn't even my first time, right? I've moved very similarly like a few other times prior to this with kids, cross country, all the things. Like I don't know what it is with having a new baby and this timing of things, like where, my life just gets this crazy up level, except that it is extremely painful. So I was not a stranger to this. Nonetheless, we moved into our new house, we were adjusting, and like my job was mostly to care for my new baby, help my girls adjust to the new home and eventually to the new schools. I mean, they were kind of going cuckoo, to be honest, and I was also trying to make this new house a home. Needless to say, that came with an enormous amount of stress. And I think that anybody with kids can agree that, I can handle a lot of things, right? We can all handle a lot of things. But when it comes to like, our kids kind of going through some things, I mean, of course, we want to absorb that, and we can't. So we had to get used to new schools and homework. And that just came with like, new friends. And we had to navigate so much just with like the girls. Like on top of that, everything else that comes with like a move. On top of that, everything that I'm going through postpartum, it was just extremely, extremely stressful. So, meanwhile, I'm also kind of finding out that the initial startup cost for manufacturing and launching my planner was going to be double what I thought it was going to be, just to keep it having like a healthy profit margin. And at the same time that all this is going on, then there's like a lot going on in terms of like just politically, like in terms of like tariffs and stuff. But I figured this might be a good thing. Um, you know, I will get off of maternity leave, get back to my coaching services, part of my business, and earn some income, and have that capital available for when all this tariff situation kind of settled. And so I did that. I created my program again and like really defined so many of my pillars and like the marketing and all of that, launched all of that. Again, while the house stuff is going on, while the kids stuff is going on. And then suddenly our nanny had a family emergency of sorts, and essentially she could no longer work for us. And to say that I crashed out, like I had the quickest of manyest of absolute crash outs when I found this out. I think the reason was because like I felt like I had done so much to get my life to a certain level where I had this sense of freedom, and I was, successfully kind of like doing it all, right? Like I had the social life, I had the wellness life, I had the mom life, I had the wife life, I had like the business life. I had my ability to really feel holistically like whole in all of that. And I felt like I really worked for that in the sense of like understanding my needs, communicating my needs, setting boundaries, and just working my way to have this ability to have everything that I ever wanted. And almost like in a blink of an eye, I felt like I was losing it all in a sense. I was losing those resources. I was losing the capital. I was losing, the ability to make any money. I was losing the resources I had in terms of delegating a lot of the things that I don't like to do in terms of housework and things that consume my energy. Like so much of my life just felt like, what is going on? Like through this all, right? I'm like still going, but I was like, wait, like is life trying to tell me something? And if so, what is it trying to tell me? So I really, at this time, luckily at the beginning of the year, even before the beginning of the year, because I make all my like kind of goals for the year, like the September, October prior to the year starting. And I had decided that I was going to really get into my spiritual practices this year. And thank God I did, because they were ready to go and I was in it. And I was able to really navigate so much internally during this time. I felt like I really did not have enough clarity of like, what am I supposed to be doing? Because, on the one hand, I can struggle through this. Like I can figure this out, right? But on the other hand, it was like, well, do I need to struggle through this? Like, am I not done with the struggling already? And then on the other hand, because I'm an octopus at this point, like I'm like, wait, this up level, I mean, this is an up level. Like it's an up level in disguised of chaos, Like so much of it I have been through before. So it didn't like scare me, but I really wanted to understand what I was supposed to learn during this time. Like, what was my growth during this time? How was I supposed to move through this? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be pushing or being kind and just like tailing it back? You guys know I have that concept, push or be kind. So I was really digging into that concept because, I don't have a definitive way of knowing, right? It's like very intuitive. Like, how do you know if you push or if you be kind? Like, how do you know whether you like need to grow in this or if you need to just, if your growth is actually to be chill, to like not do more. So, like, truthfully, I was like, I don't know. I don't know what to do, right? And I was okay with not knowing what to do. But in that not knowing, I'm still going to kind of be inching and inching and inching forward. Then, I don't know if I'm missing anything at this point, but then my dog of 14 years, and I hope I do not tear up here because I mean, like, she meant so much to me. But my dog of 14 years sadly like passed away. And that's when I was just like, listen, I don't want to like do anything anymore. Like, I don't want to show up like because I have to or I'm supposed to and because I can and all this stuff. Like, I just was like, enough is enough. And that's kind of when I realized, like, and it had been getting that sense, and I had been even had been having weird like dreams of like, that I was just like pushing and pushing and proving and just holding a lot of resistance that I didn't need to hold on to. And like, just like really, really efforting my way through things. And finally, like, I was like letting those things go one by one. And then, but when my dog died, I was just like, let me just let everything go. Like, I literally don't even care. Like, I'm not going to do what I think I'm supposed to do. I don't like, nothing really mattered anymore at that point. Like, I was just like, I am gone until I am good. So I like took that time to grieve and obviously was still just doing the internal work and really trying to understand, like, what was life trying to show me? What was it trying to tell me? What was it trying to help me become? How could I alchemize these situations so that they are valuable to me and essentially, when I'm on the other side of it, I can be valuable to others. So I took this time to really like look deep into like kind of what was driving me and what I was wanting to do and why. Like, where was this fuel coming from? Like this, need to keep going and things like that. And like, was that even the right thing? And if I can be honest, like right now, I'm going to introduce what I've been working on in just a moment. But like, even now, after kind of going through this work, creating so much, even for you guys, using some of those tools myself, like, I still don't know 100%. Like, I would be really lying if I said like, oh yes, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing and like I'm doing it. Like, I'm just doing what I think that I'm doing, and it feels a whole lot better than what it felt like before. Before, it felt like what I should be doing or what I could be doing, and now it just feels like what I want to do, what I feel like really fired up to do, to be honest. There's a different fire that's happening beneath like the surface of my energy. And mind you, like, life is still coming at me. Like, I really don't think it has stopped coming at me. I can't sit here and be like, yo, then my life absolutely changed and like, things calmed down. It did not, has not. I do during this time, like I even looked up like what my numerology number is, like life path number is for the year, right? So like you have like your life path number, which I think for me is 3. And then on top of that, you have kind of like your number for the year. And I don't really remember how to calculate it. I forget, but you can ask ChatGPT. And for me, I would think it was like 6. And I looked at what 6 meant. And I was just like, yeah, that's not what I thought like was going to happen this year. But it is telling of what is happening this year. It is much more aligned than what I thought was going to happen this year. Like my word for this year was unapologetic. Like I thought I was going to show up, like kick ass and take some names. Like I thought I was going to be like straight up in my villain era, like, which I still kind of am. But, life really handed it to me. And I had to go really deeply inside myself and do some real work. And I also asked ChatGPT, when was the last time I had this life path number year or whatever? And the last time for me was 2016. And sorry, but from what I remember, 2016, I remember summer 16, and that summer was fire. Like I had so much fun. I ended up meeting my husband that year. And yeah, like it was a very pivotal year for me. And for the most part, I look back on it fondly. But if I really get down to the nitty gritty, that year was a bunch of caca too. Like it was just a bunch of stuff to sift through. And I had no choice but to go real internal. It was the time that I was getting out of my old, career as a bottle service waitress. I was like, about to start my Pilates practice. I met my husband. I moved, to another country. Well, I moved the following year, but I met him kind of towards the end, the tail end of the year. Anyways, I was getting fired from jobs like the stuff from the surface, it was caca, right? But internally, I was doing so much work, and I was getting so solid within myself. And I also had a very solid spiritual practice at that point, also. So it all kind of like makes sense, I guess. And I expect this year to be quite pivotal for myself. I feel it's being pivotal for me, and in a different way. Like I felt like that year was pivotal for me in terms of so much of my identity and breaking like old stories, and obviously my relationship and things that I felt I deserved, things like that, right? And this time, same thing, except I feel like I've not mastered my relationship, but it's not hasn't been like how do I say? I feel like for me, it's like been balancing the relationships in my life with like my career and what I feel I want to create in this world. So I really see the last bit kind of myself needing that upheaval, which is, the kind of like business component of it, the creator component of it is really, because it's not really just about business or whatever. It's more about having the sovereignty and having that creator component of who I am be realized. Anyways, during this time, especially when it comes to goals and achieving and things like that, I really wanted to understand like what was driving me, why was it driving me, why couldn't I, and I hate saying it like this, but there's just something so innate in me that is ambitious, right? That I just really needed to understand why that part of me was having such a hard time. And I really understood how the fuel that had brought me to this point in my life, like it just didn't align with myself anymore. I am incredibly grateful for the way that I like everything that I can't regret anything about the way I came up in this world, right? I know how it all played a part in becoming who I am, and I'm so grateful for all of it. However, I don't want to feel the same way anymore. I don't want to feel like I need the struggle in order to, get hyped about achieving a goal where my nervous system is absolutely shot and I am just like working like myself to the bone and sacrificing so much and just like the struggle, the survival. I did that for so long. I did it for so long and it just doesn't feel aligned anymore. And what was so interesting about my doggy dying is that I got that dog like when I was living in Los Angeles on my own, like in the midst of my struggle. Holy crap, I do not want to cry. Not because crying is bad, but because I really want to get this message out. If it wasn't for my dog, Jezebel, like I would have been so alone during that struggle. And I was alone. I was a self-proclaimed pretty much lone wolf. And if I hadn't have been alone and if I hadn't gone through that struggle, I would not be where I am today. Like it was very, what is the word? I don't know if it's metaphorical or what, but like she was a metaphor almost for like that life that I lived. And she saw me all the way through in terms of like seeing my last daughter be born, she would just like, my daughter, my little baby would go like grin ear to ear every time she saw little Jezebel walk by. And it was like the cutest thing. And for some reason, it told me something that was gonna, like something was gonna happen to Jezebel. And I can't explain the two in terms of like why it was correlated. Anyway, that's a little bit of a tangent. Nonetheless, like Jezebel was kind of like the last part of me that was left from that struggle identity. So the fact that she died during this time, I feel was just like the only word I can think of right now in my mom brain is metaphorical. Again, like I feel like I never stopped doing things, right? Like while I've taken this break and while life has been coming at me, I have still been inching forward, striding forward, running, crawling, whatever I have to do, I've still been moving forward. But like I said, there has been such a shift in my energy since going in like internally and just really like using the tools that I created actually for all of you and just working them into a cellular place. Like even when I created what I created to like now going back, I'm like, whoa, like the energy is so different. But this is definitely still work that I am still doing. However, it got me thinking like, this is the work that I am doing. And I know that it is invaluable in terms of how people and women specifically, ambitious women specifically, can go and have their experience, like how, like the quality of their life experience, the quality of their ambitious experience of going after their goals. Like I know that this work can help other ambitious women simply feel better on their journey. And I understand this might not sound like super significant. It might not, I'm not promising you're going to like make millions or find the love of your life or, do any of those or lose 100 pounds. Like, I don't know, any of those huge goals that all my ambitious babes are actually after. I don't even think that you need to do this work to achieve those things, right? However, I do feel like there is an energetic value to the work that I am talking about. And that energetic value does alter or suppress the outcome of what you are trying to achieve. I believe that this is the work that if you miss or skip over it, it can cause more chaos in your life. I think that this is the work that so many people, successful people, talk about when only after they achieve what they want to achieve and they realize that they don't feel the way they wanted to feel in the end, the way they thought they were going to feel when they achieved that thing. They are lacking that fulfillment, that happiness, and they cannot go back and redo that journey. That journey is done. That point B has been reached, and it was anticlimactic, full of regret, empty. What they achieved is fleeting. Like, there was no substance, there was no good foundation. It did not stick. The validation they were seeking, the thing that they were trying to prove to their self or maybe somebody else, like, it just did not pan out the way they thought it would. I don't want that to happen to me. And I don't want it to happen to any ambitious babe anywhere. So what I did is I created something where any ambitious babe, because I talk about ambitious babes, the ambitious mindset so much, but I've never created anything where you can like kind of come and see like what that mindset is about and understand yourself on a deeper level. Obviously, like, I had my one-on-one coaching, right, which usually allows me to dive deep into that mindset with people one-on-one. However, that's not available right now. So I put this into a workshop that is self-paced. It's hosted inside my app, Get Zen AF. It will walk you through everything you need to know about your ambitious mindset, help you find the root, help you understand like what is fueling you and why. And then it helps walk you through what you would like to be fueled by instead, what kind of identity you would need to embody, and ultimately how to integrate that into your life. The best part about it is that you can do 10 minutes a day of workshop and journaling, and you would get done with this workshop in about 5 days. So it is super consumable and therefore doable, which is the most important part of all of this, because if you are not able to do it and then integrate it, then you will not be able to get that transformation. So I made it super digestible with that in mind. I know now why life was kind of putting me through the things it was putting me through. I really understand what it was trying to communicate to me. In all of that, so much came up, right? I started thinking and questioning, really, like, am I supposed to do this? What am I supposed to do? Just like in a very disempowered state. And what I really realized is that I could continue doing what I was doing. I could push, but I could push from a place of kindness. And I stopped questioning whether I should be doing like this and should be putting this out. And I started really understanding where my growth was. And my growth is to finish this thing that I started no matter what. It is to fulfill my mission to be an example of what is possible while you prioritize your wellness, while you prioritize things that you care about, and you don't sacrifice any of your values along the way. Taking 2 months off of, or however long I took off of one social media platform was all that, I had to essentially sacrifice, then great. I realize now how I was not coming from the right energy before. I was coming from a place of needing something or trying to validate something. And truthfully, this time, I don't feel like I need anything. I'm good with the fact that, like, if this is for you, it will resonate, and that's it. And if it's not for you, it will not, and that's okay. And I know now that I can work diligently towards my goals and make them happen no matter what is coming at me. And I'm telling you guys, I am not on the other side. I mean, like, even this workshop, I was supposed to launch it this week, but Mercury retrograde is doing its thing. None of my links work. Like, I'm like, I don't expect necessarily to be on the other side of any of this anytime soon, but I am working through it. I am working through it with the best intentions, the best fuel, and like the best certainty in myself, because I realize, like, if all of these things could make me question what I wanted to create in this world, then it was off. Something was off. And, I have a lot of compassion within myself to understand where that was coming from. But I realize I get to choose who I want to be and what I want to create every single day. We are not just guaranteed to have the identity and the mindset that we want just because we decided once. We get to decide every single day who we want to be and what we want to create. Yes, we get to do that. And that is something I forget often, even at the beginning of this, when I was saying that I was feeling so frustrated because I felt like I was losing all these resources that I worked so hard for. And that is the mistake that we often make, is that we think if we just do it once, it's okay, that's it, we've learned the lesson. But really, if you really are that person, then when you go to another level, life will allow you to the opportunity to prove that you are that person. You do have that mindset at your next level. Yes, you've done it before, but now can you do it with 3 kids and 2 businesses? Okay, so let's see it. And that's what I'm doing now. And I'm doing something that I really have only done a couple of times in my life, which is fully finish something that I've started. Again, no matter what. Because I don't regret any of my pivots or things like that, but I do regret not following through on some very, like, how do you say, just things that I liked to do. I just never finished some things that I started. And, again, I'm very compassionate with myself in the sense of, like, I understand why I didn't. But this is one of those things that I don't want to have to say that I started and did not finish. And if nothing else, just learning that lesson has been enough. This work that I'm going to be putting out is super powerful and so valuable. And I cannot wait to share it with all of you. It is called the Ambitious Babe Reset. So if you are in a messy part of your life, if you feel like you've just been trying to control things, trying to navigate, and there's no clarity, and you feel like you need a little bit of a reset, if you feel like you've taken some time off and you don't know how to go back to the thing that you want to create with the right energy, and you're afraid that you're going to burn out again, or maybe you've never even thought about this until now, like what is actually fueling you, and you are prone to comparison and wanting validation and those kind of things, then this is definitely going to be for you. If you are outsourcing your power to anything else other than yourself, including the goal that you want to achieve or the thing that you want to create, then this is going to be definitely valuable for you as well. If you feel like you've been pushing and proving and just on the struggle bus and you're ready to let go of that struggle, let go of the resistance that is not growing you, it's just making you survive, then this is definitely going to be for you. This workshop is going to come with its own ritual bank that will help you release limiting beliefs and rewire your mind from a subconscious level, regulate your nervous system using EFT, breath work, and just absolutely transform your self-concept and your identity and really embody the kind of ambitious woman you actually want to be and what you want to be fueled with from a place of wholeness, from a place of empowerment. Then these tools are going to be, I hate using this word, but they will be a game changer for your energy in which you are doing whatever it is that you are doing. They will be transformational tools. And again, I think the most important thing that I am trying to put out right now is things that are digestible for ambitious, busy women so that they are actually doable, and making these tools more and more accessible to more women. So this workshop is going to be only $47, and that's like not even the best part. The best part really is that you will also be the first to get a copy of the Zen AF Wellness Planner as a bonus to this workshop. And that's not even it. On top of that, we will be doing a 5-day Get Zen AF bootcamp to really implement and jumpstart your Zen AF era. And all of those will be obviously when everything launches, which now with in terms of like manufacturing and shipping and all that stuff and the holidays coming up, I'm looking at more of a 2026 launch date. But again, these are all just bonuses on top of this incredible workshop that I created for all of you. So I'm happy to have introduced it here on this podcast. Thank you for listening if you've listened this far. Like I said, Mercury is retrograding. It's doing its thing. So I will let you know as soon as it's available. For now, you can DM me if you're interested and I'll put you on the wait list. And you can also, if you can share with me if any of this resonated, if you are also going through something and this workshop sounds like it would be something that is right for you, also let me know. I am keen on hearing all of you guys out. I mean, I have gotten so many messages already in terms of people that, and women specifically, that would really benefit from this. So I don't know, I'm just super excited to share with all of you. And I'm just rolling with these punches right now and pivoting and shifting and doing what I need to do. Luckily, my nervous system is good since using these tools. So I'm able to just breathe and be in tune with this divine timing. So I love you guys, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening, Ambitious Babe. If you loved this episode, take a screenshot and share your favorite takeaways with me at Julia Garcia Devaney, and be sure to leave us a review, as that would mean so much. And if you're ready to put the Zen back into your hustle and love your ambitious journey, be sure to download the Get Zen AF app, where you'll learn to prioritize yourself and truly become the number one asset in your life and business. It's available in the App Store and Google Play. Check out the links in the show notes, and I'll see you inside.